join us Friday nights. Whiskey round table, pour a dram or flight. Whiskey round table. Oh, Greg, Karen, and the Whiskey Wizard talking facts and tastings. They've got you covered. Whiskey round table. Oh.
Welcome to the Whiskey Roundtable. We are your hosts,
Big G.
Karen Helen Keller.
Doug Dunbar.
All right.
All right.
I'm over here going, how come we're not on? How come we're not? Oh, I see. You gotta hit the camera button.
Yeah.
It's been a tough week. Yeah.
Oh, this week has totally sucked. Let me tell you, I am so glad I have some alcohol in front of me today. It makes me one happy gal.
And I'm sure lots of people out there have had a tough week, and that's part of why we're here. So
To make your life a little bit better.
yeah, tough weeks, and enjoy some whiskey together. So,
Amen.
hey G, I know you want to know. It's the 21st show.
Get the hell out of here. Already?
We're legal.
It feels like it was just the 20th show.
Yeah. So it's not just a fluke. This is 21. So
Holy
I
shit.
think we are official now.
That's what I'm talking
For
about.
our second year. So, yeah. Let's do a little quick shout out to all of our sponsors: Cleveland Bourbon Co-op, Royal Havana Cigars, Village Martini, Simply Greek, Low Imports, Rollin' Smoke Barbecue, Chagrin Valley Beverage, 21 Stage, North Coast Jazz Ensemble, and of course, last but not least, Rawhide Firearms.
You need to
Yeah.
get like the lasso, like
Yeah,
after
yeah,
you
yeah,
say that.
yeah.
You need to get that
Yeah.
sound effect.
So, for our sponsors, there we go.
All right.
Yeah, hey, you know what? Now that we are opened up a little bit, I'm missing Ray. We're gonna have to have Ray Lowe from Low Imports.
Definitely. I think I might see him tomorrow.
Well, we talked about that because we're going to do at some point we're going to do that Belle Meade bourbon that is finished in
X
Cognac.
cognac cask.
XO.
So that would be a good show to have him on for that. So.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's due for another visit.
Yeah, he said, I talked to him, 2 weeks ago? And I think I'll see him tomorrow. We got Royal Havana Cigars is doing their cigar event. They have rollers there. They're doing the golf outing. Rolling Smoke Barbecue is cooking, and we're gonna have some fun. So it's gonna be an all-day project. I gotta meet Debo at his house by 6:30, 6:45 tomorrow morning.
So yeah, I wish I could be there to hang out. That would be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, don't wake me up when you get up. Just kidding.
Yeah.
No, but I'm excited. So if anybody is out on the east side of Cleveland tomorrow,
Yeah.
what's the address? I know you know it off the top of your head.
38448 Lakeshore Boulevard, Willoughby, Ohio. 44096, if I remember correctly.
So we'll be hanging out. We'll be drinking some drinks and smoking some cigars. And
Man,
I won't be drinking any drinks until after 5 o'clock, probably.
Sounds like fun. Well, it's our first show of Scotch
Month.
Whiskey Month.
Yeah.
We do every August, or at least this is the second annual. So, we
How do you keep all those numbers good?
second,
21st,
21st show, it's
2
the
years,
second
second
month of Scottish whiskey. It's and I appreciate really that you guys indulge me for a whole month because that Scotch is my thing, and much as I love American whiskeys, it's nice to have a whole month to just focus on focus on the Scottish stuff. Yeah.
and I'm starting to gravitate towards you, Doug.
I know,
because
you're starting to like the Scottish whiskeys more and more.
I am. We were pre-gaming
I
before
thought
the
it was
show.
your shirt that drew her to you.
What does it say?
Scotch goes
In and
wisdom comes out.
Yeah.
Spoken like the true wizard that he is.
All right. Yes.
No, but I. What was? Wait. What was that?
Easy. You okay?
Ever since my surgery,
Ever
just
since my
very,
surgery.
kind of very, yeah.
Feeling a little wet down there, a little damp. What's that smell?
Ooh,
Intruder alert.
that-
Intruder alert.
Okay. Oh, right.
Anyway, no, but I am. I'm gravitating. So we were
Gravitating.
gravitating toward.
Wow.
I just combined two words. They only had one drink so far, so.
So, yeah.
But we were having a bourbon. Was that a bourbon that you gave me prior
Bird
to?
Dog, yeah.
Bird dog.
And then you just gave me
Some Aberfeldy 12.
and this is
That's kind of our pre-show today, yes.
Nice.
For, pre-tasting.
Sure, our little put it
Warm-up whiskey, yes.
takes us. People don't realize that. People that have watched the show that have been in the audience or people that have been on the show. Most everybody says they don't realize how. It takes a couple hours to get everything set up. Getting everything done, going over our notes, going everything. What we're going to talk about, all that stuff, and sometimes it's. And you have a long week sometimes, and things don't always go. So you got to do a pregame.
Yeah, exactly. It helps just us get ready to do our best, because nothing's too good for our audience here on the Whiskey Roundtable.
Amen.
Attaboy. And on that note, so anything new, Wizard?
On the way over here, I did hear that I don't know if anybody else heard this, the CEO of IKEA was just elected Prime Minister of Sweden.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, I heard, by the end of this weekend, he should have his cabinet together.
That's actually a really fucking good one.
Okay. All righty then.
It's funny because I just watched Deadpool this week, and his roommate, that old blind lady, was trying to put together that thing. As soon as she sits down, it falls apart.
Looks beautiful. Can't even tell it's on the ground.
So this is what you thought I deserved on that one? Okay.
No, actually, on a rating scale, the Whiskey Roundtable rating scale, I would give that a 4. That was nice.
I thought
I would sit that joke on my shelf at home. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, next to the
So
underwear.
what's next? What are we into today?
What are we into? Are you smoking today?
I'm smoking. I don't even know what I'm smoking. So occasionally I get some dollar cigars, and they're basically promo stuff, new flavors coming in, different cigar companies, this and that. So anyway, long story short, so I just happen to pull a couple out. I'm not, I like what I like, and for me to go backwards, so to say. But you know what? I'm smoking a nice cigar, but it doesn't even come with a wrapper, so I don't even know what it is. But it's nice. It's a good cigar. It's a really good cigar. So I think we have Elliot in the audience today, and I'm going to give him a couple to take home too. Sometimes you don't want to smoke your good stuff all the time. Sometimes you just say,
Sometimes you just want to give that shit to Elliot.
Yeah, you just want to give that shit to Elliot. No, but Elliot does a lot of yard work. Sometimes it's good to just, if you're done, get to this point or something, you throw it away. Who cares? For a buck, who gives a shit? But anyway.
Kill me.
But I really do.
Received.
I should go out and come in again.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Crud.
So Elliot being in the audience, who happens to be more of a Scotch guy, so to say, rather than a whiskey guy, bourbon guy.
You fit right in.
So
That's why I showed up.
thanks for coming to the show, bro.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
We like having a little audience. It makes us feel like
We really like
we're
Maryland
talking
better,
to...
but that's okay. We still love you too.
This is true.
Oh, right. We got Pat with us.
And
Wonder if he was out on the course today.
Maybe, but he's enjoying a single malt Lagavulin 16.
Lagavulin, that's probably his go-to.
And he has paired it with an ice cold Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
Trader.
I have that's
kind of out of my league, so to say.
He said no disrespect. Okay, I should have said that before y'all just opened your mouth.
All right.
Yeah, no, he has. I think he needs to still get Lagavulin tattooed somewhere, but he's got his Heineken and his Sierra Nevada Pale Ale well represented. But
well, I don't know Pat, but that's an awfully long word,
some-
I hope he finds a good place.
yeah, you would certainly remember if you'd met him.
Who else is on the old scroll?
We got Jennifer Boggs.
Jennifer.
She's out there
Jen.
sipping on some Wheat Penny.
Oh, I like Wheat Penny. Marion got that for me on a fluke, and I'll tell you what, that was really, really good.
It was good. It was
Really, really
good.
was good.
Got the
Jennifer, we're gonna do a clam bake again this year in October. We haven't picked the date yet, but
So kind of the Halloween thing again?
yeah,
Yeah.
like we did last year,
Oh, we
costume
had so
party.
much
and all.
fun.
Yeah, I
That's
just
great.
thought maybe you're invited if you want to make the trip up and do the show. That'd be awesome. If you can't, we completely understand, but we'd love to have you. You know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that'd be great. All right,
Awesome.
so tonight we're going to be tasting the Deanston Virgin Oak.
All right.
Deanston
So,
Virgin Oak. So
yeah.
if you're not familiar with that, should we give them a bottle cam up close?
Should we get him a
I
bottle?
think
Is it
it's-
bottle
let's,
can?
let's do it. Let's take a ride on the bottle cam. We'll be
Holy
right back.
shit.
Put on your seatbelt, kids.
Oh,
Hey everyone, it's time for the bottle cam. The bottle cam.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god. I don't know. I know the bottle cam's got its own little thing going on in the background, but I don't know if you can hear us sometimes.
I'm
Some of the
sure.
stuff that comes out of this one's mouth is it's classic.
Well,
But you just gotta go.
Sorry, kids, my sense of humor.
That's why I married you, honey.
Keep- Keeping it real.
Elliot asked about what does Virgin Oak mean, and we'll get to that because I'm sure Karen has some stuff. You don't have it?
I don't have that answer
Okay, well, all right.
in my
so,
story.
so this particular whiskey is, most Scottish whiskeys are aged in bourbon cask, first fill bourbon cask. But in this case, after that typical process, they finished it in virgin oak, virgin American white oak, from the same one of our barrel suppliers, one of their barrel suppliers out of Kentucky. So it's American white oak without char. So fresh virgin oak barrel that then they did the finishing in. So, but I don't know. I'll let you.
I'll
give
do
your thing,
my
and
thing, and
I'll
then you can fill in.
anything I think is necessary. Here
This
we
is
go.
this is why we work so well
That's
together.
right. That's
Amen.
right. It's a team here on the Whiskey Roundtable.
That's right. So the Deanston distillery story actually begins back in 1785. It was opened as a cotton mill, and they chose the site because it was right on the banks of the River Teith. And the mill would provide the perfect setting for that,
Yeah. Not
basically.
to interrupt, but I did when I was in Scotland. I did visit that. Our whole family went and visited Deanston, and you did like you pull it up. We parked. I'm like, okay, where's the distillery? Because this place literally looks like some kind of a cotton mill or something.
So it's interesting you should mention that because I do have a picture here
Ah.
of the distillery. So,
Yeah, it
Doug, I
doesn't
don't know
look-
if you took that picture, but if you did, it's very good.
Very nice.
There's a picture of the distillery right there on the
Yeah,
River
it's
Teith.
standing down there in the river, and my waders.
Was that with the pretty girl in the water?
Oh, that's
yeah.
where that came from.
Just kidding.
Damn.
What does that say?
What's that say?
Don't touch?
Oh, God, that said,
That's
"Dem
what she-
titties."
That's what she said.
All right, MC Hammer.
Okay.
Anyway. Okay, so because of its prime location on the river, a lathe and water wheels were installed to help power some of the machinery at the cotton mill, like the weaving. There was a weaving shed, a spinning mill.
Yeah,
I
spinning
cannot
mill.
talk. And those wheels were named Samson and Hercules.
They were like the largest at the time anywhere, right? I think.
They were. They were the largest in Europe at the time, and they, well, this says measured over 36 feet high, but I must have left off a number there. I want to say like,
That sounds right. Like in diameter, I think. Yeah. They were huge,
huge. So 1931, new management took over at the cotton mill, and it led to construction of a unique weaving shed. It has groined arches and a watertight roof, and it's insulated by 3 feet of soil from above. And this insulation would protect the cotton from the temperature fluctuations and potential damage. But if you think about it, today it's perfect for making whiskey.
One of the common things that would happen to cotton mills is
I don't know.
they
If
would
this
they
is a
would
joke.
no, they would burn down because they, all that cotton dust in the air. That was before they had modern safety practices, and
Sure.
yeah, so
That-
all it took was if they had a little too much concentration in the air, and somebody lit a cigarette or a pipe, or
Kaboom.
so yeah. But anyway, thankfully that didn't happen, so that at some point it could become
We could enjoy some
the
nice
Deanston distillery. Yeah.
whiskey.
Awesome.
But actually, a town, because it was such a great location, a town started growing around the cotton mill. It was actually the first town in Scotland to have gas lighting. And then by 1841, it had an actual population of 4,000 people, and a quarter of them worked at the cotton mill. But fast forward to 1965, the cotton industry started seeing a decline. I don't know if we were getting ready for all those polyester leisure suits in the 1970s.
Yes.
Problem.
But instead of closing its doors, they started a new business. So 1974, the first bottle of Deanston Highland single malt Scotch was produced. So, were you going to say
Yeah,
something?
yeah.
I'm sorry.
So yeah, it survived all of its time of the cotton textile era. Even polyester is quite flammable, so that didn't happen. So thank God. But yeah, so in 1974 they started making Deanston.
Yep. So,
And I mean, honestly, I just want to say I loved all the whiskeys of theirs I've had. They're kind of unique in what they do.
Are they kind of considered one of the smaller or smallest or?
Yeah, they're not real big, but their thing is making very kind of direct
Quality.
whiskeys, high quality. They do a lot of finishing, cask finishing. That's kind of their thing, but they don't overdo it. They're not getting too crazy with it. And I know, Cameron's girlfriend Lauren, who will be doing one of the Whiskey Wizards this month on another topic, but I know that's one of her favorite whiskeys. So
Awesome.
it was good. We got to all visit there and do some sampling.
So
Awesome.
I guess I've never been. One of our to-dos is to go down to the Bourbon Trail in Kentucky.
Right.
But I was just curious, like when you go there, I've been on beer tours, of course. But I just was curious, do they give you different tastes of the different types of whiskey you have when you go there?
Yes, they'll kind of pull up bottles that they're sampling, right? And they'll let you have samples,
So
and they
you
tell you all about it.
Get like a little thing.
And I've never gone to one of those and not bought something, so I always feel that's a fair shake. They're giving you taste, they're welcoming you in. I tend to like to leave with something.
Well, and that's the hook too, right?
Well, I mean, it's the right thing to do.
Sure.
And you've driven all that way, and you're out in the middle of Scotland. I mean, why not? Right?
Absolutely.
Amen.
Absolutely. So as I mentioned, it is on the river teeth, so they use the water from that river to make their whiskey, and it flows over granite.
Oh wow.
So they say the granite makes the water very, very soft, which gives a very unique perspective and flavor to the whiskey.
Makes sense.
They use only grains from Scotland, Scottish-grown barley.
Well, I would hope so.
Amen. Huh?
I'm a little Scottish. Is that a Scottish accent? I don't even know.
It's not too bad.
No, it's probably more English.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know you and Chris do a great
Sounds
Scotch.
Japanese, but anyway, go
When we
ahead.
get rolling,
Sounds
takes a lot of work.
Yeah, I was just at the Olympics.
And
No.
once I'm there for a while, it gets really easy.
So so they get the grains from Scotland. I'm sure you went through this on a Whiskey Wizard, so I'm just going to give you a very high level. After it's milled, the grist goes into open-topped mash tuns, and it's mixed with some hot water. And the sugars create a sweet liquid, which is also called wort. and it drains through perforated copper floors to ferment. And the liquid goes into the washback for fermentation. This is where it turns the yeast and the wort into alcohol, and it's known as wash. Which
Alcohol and flavor compounds, yes.
and it takes about 100 hours, which they said was unusually long for.
So kind of a slow distillation process.
Right, and
Which is good if you can control it well. Because the downside is, if you don't control it well, you can get off flavors from, undesirable yeast and things like that.
oh, I hate undesirable yeast.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
It's a terrible infection.
Okay, so anyway, I would like to thank Doug for the pictures. So here are their copper stills there at the distillery. Those are, I just think those are so
Yeah.
cool.
Cool. Yeah.
You can tell how tall they are based on that door in the background. And it's just-
Yeah, they weren't quite as big as a lot of them that we saw. That were pretty gigantic. So,
Awesome.
but it was a really nice, compact distillery. The people were really friendly. It was just got a good vibe in Deanston.
Good deal.
So, and I just have always liked all their products so far. I'm still exploring it, but
So I know you went into a little bit about the, sorry, just caught up with me, about what we're drinking today, the Virgin Oak. But I said that the whiskey is twice distilled. First, it's in a wash still, and then in a spirit still, where
Right.
it separates into 3 sections. They call it the head, the tail, and the heart. And the heart is the part that is what they go after. And that's what they use to make the whiskey. The head and the tail is used in the next distillation process.
yeah, a lot of the head is discarded, and that goes to say with bourbon or any American whiskey as well. So yeah, you get methanol and things that are not well, actually are quite toxic. So
Well,
in
good
the
thing
head.
we
So
threw
yeah,
that on.
you got to discard that, and that's why with moonshine, if your moonshine maker is not all that knowledgeable, that's why people could go blind using methanol. So yeah,
Absolutely.
know your distiller well.
Yeah, yikes. That's scary. So what we are drinking is the Virgin Oak. It's 92.6 proof. It's a Highland single malt, and initially aged in ex-bourbon and then finished new American oak barrels, which I think you just gave a little bit more detail on. There's no age statement, but it's believed the whiskey is somewhere between 6 and 8 years.
So that said, for a bourbon that would be a nice age. For a Scottish whiskey, that's a little on the low side. So, but I'll tell you what, lately I've been exploring kind of a little bit younger side of Scotch whiskeys, and it's kind of been a little bit of an eye opener. So I hope this is a good surprise, because it's on the young side, but again that Virgin Oak finishing I really like single malts that have a lot of oak character. So hopefully, I don't know. I'm looking forward to trying this. Never had it, so
Awesome. We ready to pass them out?
yeah.
I'm ready.
Sorry, Elliot. I'm going to make you get up and
I was
come
gonna get
over
up
here.
anyways.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Nick Trudick is out there.
Nick, what's up, dog? I was just thinking about you today.
Nick said he's surprised. Flowing over granite makes water soft. No, but it's a nice sales pitch, he says.
Nicky!
I don't know. It was on the internet, and that's what I read.
Yeah.
I miss Nick. I haven't seen him in probably almost 2 years. I got to get over there. I really? Do. Yeah, I mean, my schedule's crazy. But you know how me, fall time, I'm there like almost every other weekend. I love hanging out with him, man. I have so much fun
That's
with
only
him.
because he cooks you breakfast when you go over
Yeah,
there.
we usually go out to breakfast. But we have a lot of fun. We talk. We catch up on stuff. We like sitting around that fire, man. You want to talk about just a great guy. Really a good dude. Really is. I miss him. I do. I do.
We'll have to go sneak up on him.
I
one
would
day.
love that. He would love it.
So
Trust me.
what strikes me on the nose with this, it's got really good legs, by the way, too. I think.
I didn't even get into that there, wizard.
But I get some like fruit orchard fruit, like I don't know if it's peaches or apricot, and I get some melon, and then of course the vanilla. But this is nice.
It is nice. I'm
it's
trying
a
to.
nice, pleasant,
There's a lot going on in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time picking out one
Yeah, me
specific.
too. I mean, I could almost smell maybe a little bit of honey.
Yeah, definitely. And just that, there's a definite soft oak in there for sure.
That's because it was run over the can.
Yeah, it had some, came into contact with some charred virgin oak.
It's definitely got a Scotch smell to
Yeah,
it.
just barely though. I mean, you could.
No,
you know,
it's not
I don't
strong.
I get a hint of peat, but not like I would like for something that's smoky
I'm sure
or
that
whatever.
there's,
You know.
I would be surprised if there was any peat used in this, making this. But
That was going to be a question I asked.
What's that?
When you said Highland, I don't know why I thought.
well, it depends. Yeah.
I do. I mean, I barely. I mean, I could just get just enough to maybe recognize that might be peat. But you say they don't use peat in there?
I don't think that probably this isn't peated. I could be wrong, but
What do you need?
The box. Let me
I'm
see
sorry.
if it says anything on there about that. I did not pick up anything in my notes about that, but
That's not typical of the Deanston profile. Okay.
It's. I'm having a hard time on the nose, kids.
I am too, and that's not a bad thing. It's just everything seems to blend together.
I want
Get kind of like a.
I want to
something
say.
like a vanilla frosting.
Yeah, I mean it's got maybe a little bit of sweetness to it, but man, I don't know. I'm kind of against the wall, kids. Sorry.
You're a Scotch guy, Elliot. What are you picking up?
It's very nice on the tongue.
We're doing the nose right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about on the
I'm
nose?
sipping
come on.
it and gargling with
Did you get anything when you nosed the?
my nose.
No.
I have a big nose, but it doesn't smell anything.
I got such a comeback for that.
Let's
Well, Elliot
Message received.
Elliot has had a very bad broken nose at some point of his life, but that's a different story. But I could understand what he's saying, but it's funny that, Sorry, Elliot. We know you. We love you.
He just sets him up. He sets him up, and you tee him off so well.
He kind of reminds me of my dad when some of the stuff that he says. It's funny.
All right.
Sorry. Oh, let's get back to the.
All right. Let's
whiskey.
get into the flavor,
let's
man.
Go ahead
Let's
and
do it.
taste this baby.
swirl it around in your mouth. It's really nice on the whole mouth.
Ooh, I get a lot out of that.
Ooh.
Wow.
So I get a lot more different than what I was getting on the nose. Almost like, wow, nutmeg and
Need water?
yeah.
Need a water?
Fine.
You good? I don't know. It's kind of citrusy to me.
It is. I would agree.
Hmm.
The nose is very tame and very light and very crispy, and then the palate, it just comes out like boom, which
Yeah, I'm getting, but I think
I see crispy.
a lot from the oak, but I almost get some esters like banana, which is not something I get with Scottish whiskey that often.
It's good to sip.
It's got a sweetness to it. I get
not-
citrus. I get the reason I'm going to say honey because it's sweet and it almost gives you that aftertaste like when you I like raw honey and towards the end of having a teaspoon of raw honey, it's kind of got that sweetness, smooth velvety.
Yeah.
It's definitely citrusy. It's definitely sweet.
Oh.
I don't know, maybe a lemon or a lime. I don't know. I'm really kind of struggling with it, but I like it. I do like it, but I'm not picking up what I would normally pick up.
There's some. I mean, I would say I can understand that's a little bit on the young side, but I like this. Nothing is too overstated, and it's very spirited, and I get a lot of complexity in this, a lot going on with it, and I mean.
I know you say that there's maybe no peat in here, but I get peat out of it.
A little bit.
I do. I really do.
Yeah, you do. You definitely know it's a Scotch.
We killing you over there?
No, it lingers in your mouth.
It does. It's kind of long finish
It
for
is
sure.
a very long finish.
I agree. I like it. I like it. I apologize. I usually have something to say about everything.
I was going to say we're never at a loss for words, but
I just can't.
I don't pick one distinct or two distinct flavors or smells out of it. It just, like I had said on the nose, everything just melds together very well.
Yeah, I mean, it's got
What's-
a nice balance,
It's very nice to
full
sip.
body. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really got a nice mouthfeel. So what
What's a palate?
What are the official
Official notes: the nose, heady virgin oak, which I would agree. I
Okay, I agree with
definitely you get the oak, but I think that sometimes we don't even mention that because it
Right.
goes without saying.
Goes without saying. I agree.
Bursting with lemon zest and sweet barley sugar, with delicious notes of apple and nutmeg. I thought I heard nutmeg from you as well.
And you guys said citrus. So.
On the palate, it says it's a delightful sweetness, evoking memories of candied fruits and vanilla toffee, balanced with heather honey.
Honey, and I said vanilla
You did?
frosting.
All right.
Yeah.
You did. The finish, a satisfying light spice with a rewarding burst of honeyed malt and sweet oakiness.
There you go.
Okay.
You
All right.
didn't do all that
I
bad.
didn't do too
G.
bad,
Look
man.
at you!
Yeah, look at you.
All right.
Yeah, that
Awesome.
was pretty good.
Yeah, no, I'm really enjoying this, and it's, I know we're not really saying a lot about it, but again,
but-
it's because it's not like I'm looking for that
Great.
one.
Picked out a lot of those.
Yeah.
Hey, Big G, that's
I-
really quite damn impressive.
It is, because I was really struggling with just trying to find something. It's very complex. I like it.
Yes.
I just really I couldn't pull it out. I just kind of
Oh, you got it.
so.
All right, so why don't we, before we do the ratings, let's just take another quick ride on the bottle cam. Take another quick look at this Deanston.
Hey everyone, it's time for the bottle cam. The bottle cam.
Oh my god, I got my vertigo going.
Did you? Well, obviously you did that when I was sitting there. I didn't even realize that you did.
Bubbles. Oh, there's our penis slider.
Oh shit!
There's the penis slider.
Intruder alert.
Goodness.
All right. Well, you never know what you're going to get when we invoke the bottle cam. So.
Well, these two
All right.
bottle cams, we had really great views of Greg's skull, which is,
Well, it's funny because I saw him, so I remember because I take back everything I said.
What did you do?
When he came after me with that thing, I'm like, he is not coming over here, and I just kind of stared at him, and he he just comes over.
No, I said, I think I said duck, and you just.
I
didn't
just
even
stared
do
at
it.
you.
Yeah.
And then he turned around, he showed you his behind, and he said, "Goose."
Oh my goodness!
Duck, duck, goose.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm
Well,
just
okay.
pleased.
well, it's time to do our ratings.
All right.
And I think everybody knows by now what our rating system is. So why don't we just do the traditional? Start with Big G.
All right. I'm gonna give it a 3.3.
3.3 for Big G.
0.3.
Well, that's fine.
Anything that you want to say about that?
No,
or-
I'm not disappointed in it. I did struggle with the nose and the palate, and then apparently I got a lot of it that I didn't realize that I did. But I just it was tough for me to get the nose. It was tough for me to get the palate.
So you kind of like those things to stick out more.
Yeah, and it's very good. I like
Yeah.
it. I don't know. I know that you brought that
3.3
back
is
from
definitely
Scotland.
respectable.
What is the price on that American
Oh,
malt?
actually, it's not too bad for a single malt. It's about $40.
Oh, that,
Yep.
35 bucks.
excellent.
So it's
Excellent.
almost in the bourbon kind of
Right.
range.
Right, nice.
So Karen, what do you think?
I'm wavering on this. This is a hard one for me to score because I like it, but I like you said, Greg. You don't pull out any specifics. But do I really want to give that a negative because of that? I don't.
No,
I-
Yeah, I would just say more on the how
what it
how does it impact you overall?
I should probably change my score, and I'll tell you why. Because on the other side, from the back door forward, it was a good school, so to say. It made you work really tested your palate, so to say, as
Yeah.
far as scotches or even
and it
bourbons or
wasn't,
whatever.
Right, and you
So-
weren't saying that there wasn't anything
Right.
going on. That's why you couldn't pick anything out. That would be bad if it's
So,
really there's
I-
not much happening here.
I
But
have to
there's a lot
change.
happening, right?
You wanna
I want
change?
to change my score. I'm going to go to a 3.6
You're allowed to do that.
You're allowed to do that.
So
because
we'll go
on
against
the schooling side, it definitely taught you.
Yeah,
For me.
yeah. I think it's. I'm with you. What do you think, Karen?
Yeah, like I said, I am wavering. I keep going back and forth. I really like this. It's killing me because now I'm a Scotch gal.
I think so.
Oh my!
So I'm gonna be.
My wallet just fell open. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say 3.9.
3.9.
What did I say to you
Wow,
today
that's
before I
pretty
walked out the
good.
door?
I love you.
Oh shit! Did I say that?
Uh-uh.
I don't remember being drinking this morning. But man, I must have been fucked up. Anyway, no. What did I just say? I just said to you today when I was leaving, or maybe it was yesterday. But I said to you, you know what? We're gonna start before the end of the year. We're gonna start rebuilding, which is a conversation we're gonna have with Doug after the show. But we are going to rebuild our scotches.
Yes,
So
you
Yeah,
did
oh,
say
yeah.
that.
I want to spend some money.
That's what I've been
and-
buying. If I buy anything recently,
So we're
that's
gonna do some
Perfect.
stuff and for the show,
Yeah.
and we'll be all set for next year
Future,
and
yeah.
and a year from now, God willing.
So Karen gives it a 3.9, which is almost getting into must-have on your bar territory. So I think that's pretty
Hey,
good.
Karen Helen Keller, you really got it, sister.
So
Sister.
I'm with you. I'm right there with Karen. I'm just gonna go a little shy of that at a 3.8. I really do
All right.
like this. It's got some youngness to it. I can't really put it up there with some of the more aged single malts that I have. But again, like I said, I'm getting a little more into experimenting with some of the younger ones because there is a fresher, more energetic quality that some of them that I've had recently have, and I do kind of like that. So cool.
What
Yeah.
about Elliot? What do you think?
I enjoyed rolling it around in my mouth,
Mhm.
and that's when the honey. Now you mentioned it. That's when I felt the honey in my mouth.
So on a what do you think compared to our scores? What do you think?
I think it's for $40. I thought it'd be a great buy.
Okay.
Because I was sipping it, and I thought it was very good.
Okay. What do you scale to
One to
1 to 5?
five.
What do you think?
3.9.
All right.
Okay.
There we
Oh,
go,
look
Elliot.
at
Look
me
at you.
agreeing with Elliot.
Holy cow.
Woo, look at that.
Wow.
Good call,
Okay.
man. Thank you.
Yeah, I would say I was very surprised while doing the research on this that they didn't produce their first bottle till 1974 because when you do look at some of the distilleries from Scotland and Ireland, they've been around for hundreds of years. So it was very interesting to me to
Yeah.
know that they are a newer distiller, and I think they're doing a great job.
So Glenn is asking, can the whiskey roundtable bobbleheads be purchased? I guess make us an offer, Glenn, and
Sure.
We'll have to see on that.
So it's $100.
Don't spend a lot of money, you know, $300-400 worth of scotch, and we'll they're yours, man.
So he says it's 71 degrees in Manhattan Beach.
Oh,
So,
nice. Nice.
So
Nick, I don't know how to say this. What do you think your dad would say about it? Would he smack you in the head or say something like, good choice, son? Are you talking about his choice in women? His choice in drink? What?
Wait, where are you seeing this at? What's this say?
Hey, Greg, what do you think Dad would say about it? Would he smack you in the head or say something like...
Well, you know, so my father and Nick got to be pretty close pretty quick before my father passed away. And my dad, believe it or not, was a beer drinker.
Mm-hmm.
And he was not a whiskey guy or a scotch guy. But, you know, I remember my father always kept his beer in the trunk of his car.
Because he didn't want you brat kids getting it.
So, and during the summertime when everybody would come over, and it's a whole story, but basically my dad, if somebody wanted a beer, my dad was always gracious about it. Who wants a beer? Who wants a beer? And he went out with his keys and opened the trunk of his car when it was like 85 degrees out, and the cans were so hot that you could barely hold them.
I was going to say, that would have been great in August here.
So I wish my brother was watching because he could tell a story
so he
better than I
literally
could.
hand out like
hot
hotter
beer,
than
man.
hot beer.
Oh yeah, hot beer.
Like probably
So-
like when you open that can, it's
Oh, it
gonna,
go
it's gonna all spray out.
like champagne, you know.
Oh my god.
And for years, and I mean, we were just like barely teenagers. He's like, well, I don't want the kids getting into it, but every party. I mean, my parents entertained quite a bit. That's probably where I get my entertainment side, so to say. But that was the only time beer saw ice. Other than that, my dad said, "I'll give you the keys," but we're like, we're not drinking that, you know. But back in the day, it was accepted. You know, your parents would let you try beer or wine or whiskey or whatever, you know. And we never had any problems as growing up, but it was funny. So Nick, so that answers your question, I hope. But
And Nick said your dad was an awesome man.
yeah,
I love him.
thank you. Yeah, him and Nick got pretty close pretty fast. But
So
I'm not
that's
surprised.
funny, that's funny.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, nothing like a steaming hot beer on a summer day.
There you go.
Literally.
Well, it's time now for the Whiskey Wizard, I
Alright,
think.
let's
It
do
is time for the wizard.
And
Any
as we-
introductory
Just
notes?
as we kick off Scottish Whiskey Month, so we're going to cover the different Scottish whiskey regions.
All right, kids.
So
Let's do it.
get that done.
Great
We'll be right back.
introduction.
We'll be right back.
Whiskey Wizard. It's the Whiskey Wizard.
Hello and welcome to the Whiskey Wizard, where we say that whiskey making takes scientific knowledge, an artisan's skill and dedication, and a bit of the wizard's alchemy of light, air, earth, and fire. So, to appropriately dive into Scotch Whiskey Month, I thought we should talk about what Scotch whiskey is, define the major categories that folks sometimes get confused by, and then we'll visit the various Scotch whiskey regions. Of course, quite simply, Scotch whiskey is malt whiskey or grain whiskey, or a combination of the two, that is made in Scotland according to certain legal specifications. Basically, these specifications are that it be made of only water and malted barley, while other permitted grains may be used. It must be mashed, fermented, and distilled to no more than 94.8% ABV, and then matured in oak casks not exceeding 700 liters for a minimum of 3 years in Scotland. Originally, all Scotch whiskey, the spelling here, of course, is W-H-I-S-K-Y with no E, was made from 100% malted barley. Whiskey made from 100% malted barley, produced and aged in a single distillery, is called a single malt whiskey. If other grains are added and it's made at a single distillery, what you have is the less common single grain whiskey. Most single malt Scottish whiskies predominantly spend their time aging in first fill ex-bourbon casks. Some single malt offerings will then be finished in ex-sherry, port, rum, and other wine or spirit casks. Okay, so what is a blended Scotch whiskey? Up until the 1980s, most all the Scotch you saw in the store or the local bar were blended whiskeys, such as Johnnie Walker, Chivas, Cutty Sark, and Dewar's. A blended whiskey uses the skills of a master blender to take a neutral grain spirit and then add to it a mix of single malt whiskeys of varying characteristics to achieve a desired consistent end product. Look, I'm not going to debate blended versus single malt whiskey. I'll just say to you that I'm a single malt guy. I'll leave it to you viewers to decide for yourselves. I'll admit to having had some blended and single grain Scotch that was very, very good. There's one last category to address, a vatted malt. A vatted malt is a whiskey which is simply a mixture of single malt whiskeys with no neutral grain spirit added. Johnnie Walker Green Label is an example of a vatted malt. When you discuss Scotch whiskey, and especially single malt Scotch whiskey, you're going to be talking about its origins. Just as you have geographic identities for fine wines, so it is with single malt whiskeys. Where you might talk of a Bordeaux, Burgundy, or Napa Valley wine, you might be referring to your single malt as a Speyside, a Lowland, a Highland, an Islay, or a Campbelltown. It can be said that the Scotch whiskies have a terroir quality to them, just like wine, meaning the local elements of soil, climate, and proximity to the sea, etc., all influence the character of the finished whiskey. And whiskeys from those specific regions share a certain basic characteristic flavor profile. Of course, the methods of production characteristic to a given region also play a part, such as using a lot of peat for drying the malt. Such heavy peat use occurs in parts of Scotland where peat reserves are great and traditional use as a fuel for kilning is therefore most prevalent. I have this map here, courtesy of our friends at Nick's Wine Merchants down under in Australia. So here are the 6 regions: the Highlands, Speyside, Lowlands, Campbelltown, Islay, and the Islands. Some divided up slightly different ways. And I like to consider Skye and the Orkneys as their own regions. That's why I like this map. Some also look at the West Highlands as a distinct district as well. Okay, let's begin with the Highlands. Probably the 2 most famous Highland whiskies are Dalmore and Glenmorangie. There are over 25 Highland distilleries. Typical Highland whiskey flavors include fruitcake, malt, oak, heather, dried fruit, and smoke. The Highlands is Scotland's largest whiskey producing area, covering anywhere from the north of Glasgow, the Clyde estuary to the River Tay, and all the way up to Thurso in the north, not to mention the east and west regions, excluding Speyside. So Speyside is kind of embedded within the Highlands, but is considered its own region. Speyside has by far the most and highest concentration of distilleries anywhere in Scotland, or the world for that matter. Most famous Speyside whiskies include the Macallan, Dalwhinnie, Glenlivet, and Glenfiddich. Typical Speyside flavors are apple, vanilla, oak, malt, nutmeg, and dried fruits. A few years back, I had the good fortune to be able to hike the Speyside Trail, passing by many of the distilleries along the River Spey and its surrounding highlands. The region of Speyside is located in the northeast of Scotland, surrounding the River Spey. As we said, it's a sub-region to the neighboring Highlands because of the high density of distilleries in the area. It's home to the highest number of distilleries in Scotland, with well over 60 distilleries at present. Speyside is known for its wide range of whiskies, displaying different characters, famously for dry to mildly sweet single malts, with either very little peat or absolutely no peat present at all. Speyside seemed to me to be clean and softly spiced, with a mild, accessible character. So down in the south, we have the lowland Scotch whisky region. Most famous lowland whiskies include Auchentoshan and Glenkinchie. There are 4 active lowland distilleries today. Typical lowland flavor and aromas are fresh grass, honeysuckle, wildflowers, cream, to toffee, toast, and cinnamon. The lowlands is the second biggest whiskey region in terms of the area it covers, but it's currently only home to the 4 active distilleries. The lowland region covers the south of Scotland from the English border up to the north of Glasgow and Edinburgh, where it meets the border with the Highlands. A region I've personally been wanting to explore more is the Campbelltown whiskey region. The most famous Campbelltown whiskies include Glengyle and Springbank. Typical Campbelltown flavors include brine, sweet smoke, dried fruit, vanilla, and toffee. They typically have a sweet, light fruit to floral aroma. Campbelltown is actually part of the mainland of Scotland, but it's found at the foot of the Mall, or peninsula, of Kintyre, and it was once a thriving whiskey hotspot with over 34 distilleries. However, now it's only home to just 3. Campbelltown is Scotland's first whiskey region, with Irish monks likely bringing to it the secrets of distillation sometime in the late 1200s. Now let's move a little bit to the north, and we have the small island known as Islay, spelled I-S-L-A-Y, which, despite its comparative small size, is its own Scotch whisky region. As most regular viewers are aware, Islay whiskies are some of my favorites. I love how you can taste the salty, fresh sea air, along with rich layers of peat and smoke. And yet, with many, you still get the softer flavors of light fruit and toffee that also shine through, providing an incomparable balance. Dark chocolate with sea salt makes a great complement to these whiskeys. To me, Islay whiskeys simply taste like Scotland. The most famous Islay whiskies include Ardbeg, Laphroaig, Lagavulin, and Bruichladdich. Number of distilleries there is about 10. So let's not forget one of my favorites, of course, Col Ila. The typical Islay flavor profile includes vanilla, sea salt, seaweed brine, carbolic soap, green apple, smoke, and even kippers. Some, like Lagavulin, include flavor elements reminiscent of a nice roaring campfire built somewhere on a seaside cliff. The Scottish island of Islay is located to the west of the mainland and is the smallest whiskey region in terms of area coverage in Scotland. Even though it is a relatively small island, Islay is currently home to 10 distilleries, 3 of which are world famous. Construction on an 11th is underway. Okay, last we have the Islands region. Most famous Islands whiskies include Highland Park, Talisker, and Jura. Typical island flavors: smoke, brine, oil, black pepper, heather, and honey. Single malt Scotch produced on the islands surrounding the mainland of Scotland offer a very diverse and differing range of tastes and aromas. They're not, however, recognized by the Scotch Whisky Association, which simply lumps them in with the Highlands. Personally, I feel they deserve their own regional status. So next time we'll explore more about malting and peat and their role in Scottish whiskey making. Barley and peat, after all, are the things most quintessentially Scottish about Scottish whiskey. Well, I guess that's all until next time. This is Douglas Dunbar, the Whiskey Wizard, for the Whiskey Roundtable. So, Slanja, and now back to the live show.
That was just so fascinating to me. I'm sitting here watching it like this.
So that's, the Scottish whiskey regions. So that's one of the things that I like about Scottish whiskey. There's kind of a character to all those different regions. And even though, just like wine, there's variation within those regions, but there's usually a certain kind of DNA that a whiskey has, if it's from Islay or if it's from Speyside and such. So it's a lot of fun.
Up on your volume there a little bit.
Oh, they're having trouble hearing me. Okay.
I'm watching the
okay.
monitors, but
Yeah.
no, it's very interesting. And as it was playing, I was asking Doug, "Did you take those pictures?" And you did take a lot of those.
Yeah, a lot of those. Yeah, were photos we took on our trip.
That's just amazing. So here we are. Doug and I are planning a whiskey roundtable trip to Scotland and England and Ireland, and we're going to do some on-site shows.
There actually are some now some good English whiskeys that are happening. So
like I told him, I just want to go to an English pub, like it's in a dark cave, and it's like, I don't know, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, but it looks like it's like midnight, and then give me another pint. I just want to do that.
Oh my goodness.
Americans.
Excuse me while I crawl under the table.
Anyway,
Right.
we're going to do that. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah,
we're going to
yeah,
talk about that later. Let's plan that.
I'm always up for talking about a trip to Scotland, certainly, and not been to Ireland. That's on the list. So we should do that, and we can do some shows on location.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
that
my
would be
goodness.
amazing.
So we're kind of up on the hour here. Do we want to do any quick news, or do you want to roll out?
No, let's roll out.
G says.
I have news, but I'll do it next week.
All right, we'll save it for next week. That's fine.
I'm looking at the scroll really quickly.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
yeah,
what we
let's-
got?
Oh my gosh, there's a lot going on. Oh my goodness, I got to
Alright,
find
let's
out
finish-
where I left off.
Let's finish the evening with the scroll, and we'll get what do you got?
There's a lot here. Charlie Brown is there, back in town. Charlie Brown is back in
We haven't
town.
had Charlie Brown in a while.
Hey, Charlie Brown. Really? I have this football teed up. Would you like to try and give it a good kick?
Jennifer Bugg says it's a lovely Friday evening in Northwest Ohio. Doesn't get much better than this. Relaxing, sitting on the patio, sipping bourbon, and listening to friends talk about whiskey.
All right, did you say anything
I
about
agree,
October?
Jennifer. I would say, like, from right now through to Halloween, some of the best weather anywhere in the United States. It's a
I
great
agree.
time for Northeast Ohio. We start really, it cools off just enough that it's pleasant to be out. You can start having fires and that kind of stuff. So looking forward to that.
I had a fire the other day.
Jennifer, your mom used to give you Kahlua in your milk. How old were you?
She was 6.
6 months. She's like, no, Mom, I want bourbon. That's okay. So funny.
A lot of mothers used bourbon for teething babies. Yes.
Okay, I don't know. I'm just going to read this out loud. So Nick answers to that. He says when he was a kid, his mom used to give him paregoric, a medicine consisting of opium flavored with camphor, aniseed, and benzoic acid. That
Okay,
explains a
well,
lot.
That
Nick.
explains a lot, Nick.
That's one way to get him down for a nice long nap.
That's what I'm saying. So we got Debo just checked in about 10, 15 minutes ago, and he's sitting there watching them little punks riding their motorcycles, but they're watching too. So again, kids, I miss you guys. You guys are little punk asses.
You're
And
getting so big.
you are getting big. But I just have one question for you two little punks. Did you clean your room? Probably
No.
not.
No, they're out riding their bikes. It's nice out.
Those kids have no fear, man. I love those kids. They're little punks. I love them. Trevor and Shady Grady. Too funny.
All
Awesome.
right, so we want to thank all of you guys for watching. If you're here with us live, of course, and if you're not, well, we hope that
We're glad you're there too.
We hope those people will watch us later on. And if you can't make the show at any time, do watch when it's convenient, because all those views do help us keep this thing going.
Please like and smash that like button.
Subscribe.
Subscribe and smash that like button.
And yeah, next week we're back continuing with Single Malt Whiskey Month, or Scottish Whiskey Month.
And what's next week?
Glenlivet 18.
We're going to do the Glenlivet 18, and as
we have a special guest next week.
Special guest, Mr. Christopher Britton Snyder, will be with us as our special guest next week.
Good to have him back, even though he's from Pittsburgh.
Looking forward to that. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page if you haven't done that already, or follow us on Facebook. And we like getting those comments or questions. And if you want to be a guest on the show, just email us at thewhiskeyroundtable.com. Make a note on Facebook, or if you have our number, call us up.
Speak louder.
I don't know what's happened. We have an
There you
audio
go.
problem.
There you go. There you go.
I'm talking at my microphone.
He's hanging out with a couple of us. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hello.
Hello.
All right.
Okay, so tonight's closing quote comes to us. It's another one. I found another one from Dean Martin, who's given us so many. When a reporter asked him about his hangover cure, he said, "I simply take, prepare, and drink the juice of 2 bottles of whiskey."
That's
right.
great
All right.
advice. I'm going to follow that.
All right.
All right, so
All right, kids. Hey, thanks for watching. Appreciate yous, and enjoy your weekend. And next week, be safe, and we'll catch you next week.
Come out and hang with us at the
Amen.
Royal Havana tomorrow.
All right.
thanks for watching, everyone.
We are the Whiskey Roundtable. Big G.
Karen Helen Keller.
Doug Dunbar.
Catch you cats next week. Thank
Have a
you very
safe
much.
weekend.
Bye
See you
bye.
next time.
Bye.
If whiskey stopped working, every bar in town would be closing their doors, shutting down. Everybody would be trapped with their thoughts, 'cause nothing numbs the pain like bourbon or scotch. Oh no, oh no, no. If whiskey stopped working, where the hell would I be? Probably wasting lots of money trying therapy. If whiskey stopped working, what the hell would I do? Honestly, to tell you the truth, I wouldn't be over you. If whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, oh, whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped. Poor Jack D would be out of a job. Jameson and Bean would be cut off. Hank Williams songs wouldn't make any sense. Yeah, this whole damn world would be a mess. Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. If whiskey stopped working, where the hell would I be? Probably wasting lots of money trying therapy. If whiskey stopped working, what the hell would I do? Honestly, to tell you the truth, I wouldn't be over you. If whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, oh, whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, oh, whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped, oh. If whiskey stopped working, where the hell would I be? Probably halfway out of this town, leaving Tennessee. If whiskey